So there was a robbery at the Louvre recently in Paris, and I talked about it in the last video and said if we get more details, I'll share with you. And we've already got details. It's crazy when you go through this stuff. I know many of you have been to the Louvre. My wife and I were just in Paris a few months ago, and these were the headlines then. Louvre closed after thieves steal priceless jewels in brazen daylight robbery. And we have pictures of what was taken. You can see what was taken. So it appears to be like a crown kind of thing, lots of pearls, diamonds, and this kind of stuff I think is priceless when you look at these things. Look at this stuff. It's basically royalty kind of thing. So it says, in an audacious raid on Sunday, thieves stole 8 items of jewelry of what officials describe as incalculable value. Yeah, so I think all this stuff is priceless type of things. From the Louvre Museum in Paris, the gang targeted the Louvre Apollo Gallery, which contains France's historical collection of crown jewels. So again, it's royal stuff. The thieves also tried to steal, so it's like they failed at one. The crown of the Empress Eugenia, wife to Napoleon, which features 8 gold eagles, like 1,300 diamonds, 1,100 rose-cut diamonds, 56 emeralds, but they left it behind after guards interrupted the raid. These are the stolen items. Wow. So the guards showed up, which, it would make sense. And again, this is broad daylight that they're doing these kind of things. So let's just go quickly over what it is. And then you can see this stuff. It's priceless stuff. And the phrase they're using is incalculable odds. So that was the tiara of the Empress Eugenie. Then you also have the Empress decorative bow right there. Look at these. It's stuff you literally see in a museum, and usually this stuff is behind glass. You would think, it's massive security. There's a brooch here. Is that diamonds probably? Yeah. So they said 8 items. Then they took a sapphire tiara, necklace, and earring. So that must have all been in the same case then. Should have been. So that was like we saw 3 items. So they must have broken like 3 or 4 cases. But it's interesting that they had to leave one behind because the guards showed up. The parts of Napoleon's emerald wedding gift set. Wow. So that's the emerald thing. So this would be like a necklace and maybe 2 earrings, basically. And they're saying the necklace includes 32 emeralds, pearl, 1,100 diamonds. So many. I want to read the details of this, and I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, the same as I do. And I'm just looking at it for the first time here. I heard there was a robbery. I heard there was 3 or 4 people involved in a motorcycle, but we probably will get more details involved with this. It says, thieves made off with jewelry of incalculable value in a brazen daylight robbery on Sunday. So it was a weekend at the Louvre. And this should be the busy time, right? Weekends should be more busy than weekday. At the Louvre Museum in Paris, according to the France's interior minister. The heist unfolded around 9:30 a.m., okay, and then they're saying here, they told the France Interradio that the thieves had used a lift mechanism on a truck, okay? So I wonder if they also had a truck then, or if the truck was already there. Typically used to move furniture into the Parisian apartments through the windows, and a lot of these buildings are really old, so that's why you would do that. To break into it would be the Galerie d'Apollon, I guess how you'd say it, on a second floor wing of the museum. So I had to go this. It wasn't even the first floor, second floor. The Apollon Gallery's gilded hall holds the royal collection of gems and crown diamonds, including the Regent, the Sanchi, and the Hortensia. So you guys, if you've been to this building, you're probably familiar with these. And again, this is like the royal end of it here. The thieves broke into 2 display cases, so my guess was right there, snatched 8 precious objects before fleeing on motor scooters. Oh, so it's not even motorcycles, motor scooter. So I'm thinking like a Vespa kind of thing, perhaps. They wouldn't be that fast, I don't think, with their loot, all within just 7 minutes, which is, it sounds like a movie when you read through this stuff. The jewels include a royal sapphire necklace, earring, royal emerald necklace and earrings, pearl diamond encrusted diadem worn by Empress Eugenia, the wife of Napoleon III, who governed from France from 1848 to 1840. So these are quite old, and there's more pictures of it. We just looked at it. It was a major robbery, they say, adding that the investigators believe that 3 or 4 thieves were involved, and the robbery bore the hallmarks of an experienced team of veteran criminals given its precision and speed. I laugh because it sounds like movie. Like this stuff doesn't really happen in real life. I in my adulthood, I don't think I've ever, just talking out loud, I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this actually happening at something like the Louvre, or say the New York Met. It just, if you've been to these places, it's just not really possible. But I evidently, I guess it is. And also that it's just culturally, there's certain things you don't touch. And then after you were to do said thing, I mean, everyone's going to know that you took it. I think that's why they're putting out pictures of this stuff. So word's going to get out quick. That's what I'm also curious. Like, there's no honor among thieves kind of stuff, but we'll see. But they were saying here, this is an experienced team. I'm thinking there could be theoretically more than 3 to 4 thieves. When I first heard that, I was thinking, in those situations, maybe they drive a little bit, they, hand it off to someone else runs away. Who knows? I really don't know. That's why I'm really curious. But in their hasten to leave, the robbers dropped the crown of empress, which features, and that was the one that was the, like a whole bunch of diamonds and emeralds. So according to the French Culture Ministry, 5 museum staff were in the Outland Gallery when the burglars broke in. What? So okay. So there was actually, yeah, right, because there's this, and there wouldn't there be people up there also? So there's staff in what the heck? Sound the security alarms, okay. They applied the museum security protocol, so you contact the police, prioritizing the protection of people. Right, sure, that makes sense. They're worried if these people have guns or something like that, sure. Visitors had been inside the building for 30 minutes by then. Oh, so I see. So you would, I guess, go early. So the museum's open, and I guess the argument would be, instead of doing it at night when any sort of suspicious movement around the museum would maybe cause more suspicion, I guess, opposed to middle of the day. I was just thinking about out loud how you would pull this off. Some panicked at first, worrying the building was experiencing a terrorist attack or a fire. Okay. Oh, they must have heard alarms then or something. Said Joseph Sanchez, a tourist from Puerto Rico who was in line with the family members waiting to see Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, when security guards began to shout for people to exit the room. It's crazy. They were kept in museum's lobby for more than an hour before being calmly evacuated, right? So you don't know what's going on. There's the ladder. So just imagine that you climb up this ladder, right? This is in broad daylight. And I think they might have disguised themselves as construction crew or something like that. Is how you would do this. Not like, I don't know what robbers wear. I mean, in movies, they all wear, black and masks and stuff like that. But here, you think they're going to wear masks, though, because there's going to be cameras everywhere. Or I don't know. I'm curious. This is going to be a situation to where, are they going to release, or not say are they, I'll say they'll probably release images of the robbers shortly. I wouldn't doubt it. So there's that moving truck thing here. And so they had to go to the second floor. So it's actually a pretty, and so they did this in 7 minutes. So if you just think about this, let's talk out loud. You have to climb up this thing, run in there, break a couple glass, alarm set off, and then you got to climb back down in 7 minutes. So that you're not in there very long at all. I'm thinking in the building itself is only a minute or two, would be my guess. But, let's get more details. As you can see, that's actually quite a climb. Okay. So, and then there's the window there. Before we heard that there was some sort of angle cutter thing. We talked about that. And then they had some sort of pick too. In my mind that there were bars on the window when we talked about, but here it doesn't seem like it. Although, no, it just looks like they broke the glass or something. What else does it say? The French culture minister said no one was injured in the robbery. The museum closed for the day as, quote, a security measure to preserve traces and clues for the investigation. Sure. There's got to be cameras everywhere, though. Members of the police and army were on the scene. The authorities said the investigators were pouring through evidence that included objects abandoned by the thieves and security camera footage. My mind is like, they're going to get these people, but we'll see. The Paris prosecutor's office said it had open investigation and that, quote, the extent of the losses is currently being assessed. A former royal palace, the Louvre is the largest museum in the world, is dizzying number of wings, courtyards. There's a lot of people who go here. And if you've ever been to the Louvre, it's like this kind of environment. And even if you haven't been to the Louvre, all museums are sort of like this, right? You do have big windows in these things, but there's always people everywhere. And You know, they're even saying 5 staff were in the, you know, in this part when it happened. This isn't in broad daylight. French museums have recently been hit by a string of robberies. So I wonder if there's a criminal organization involved with this, like a organized. I mean, I'm not wondering. It's got to be something, right? And there may be some sort of insiders with this stuff. I wouldn't be shocked, because to pull this off, you'd have to get the timing right, like pick an exact certain time when you know, in the movies are like, oh, this is when so and so takes a lunch break or whatever. But yeah, Sunday in the morning is what they went for. Last week, 4 men were arrested after President Jacques Chirac Museum in the town of Corrèze was burgled by armed individuals. Armed, so that was a different one. Wearing balaclavas. So I actually don't know what that is. You guys can tell me in the comments. It says armed individuals wearing balaclavas. Less than 40 hours later, the museum was burglarized a second time. In September, thieves stole nuggets of raw gold. So this has been a problem in France then. Interesting. $700,000 for the National Museum of History. And you got a few blocks from the Louvre the same month, 2 porcelain dishes at a vase. And these dishes, it's saying it's worth 9.5 million or 11 million. I'm assuming though these like literally royal jewels are gonna be worth a lot more. That's what they were saying, incalculable odds. What does this person say? A Dutch art crime expert said in a telephone interview that he was unsurprised by the Louvre heist given the recent pattern. Okay. But entering France's most important museum and stealing jewels, he said, is the ultimate art heist. It's like something out of a movie. That's funny. Even the crime expert saying the same thing. Like, we're all thinking the same thing, right? There had already been a number of high-profile heists at the Louvre. In the summer of 1911, this is like 100 years ago, a museum employee, so that's literally someone inside, stole the Mona Lisa. The employee was arrested 2 years later after trying to sell the painting, and the Mona Lisa returned to the museum. I mean, how are you going to try to sell something like, famous like this? We all know you stole it, and then even if someone were to buy it, I mean, who are you going to show it to? It's the same with the jewel thing. In 1976, 3 burglars broke into Louvre. So that was, 50 years ago, climbing up a metal scaffolding and smashing windows on the 2nd floor. So same kind of thing, actually. And stole a 19th century diamond-studded sword. That's much bigger. Belonging to King Charles X of France. In 1990, a painting by Renoir, Portrait of a Seated Woman, was cut from its frame and stolen. So painting, then you would probably I guess, cut it and roll it up and run away, I suppose. In 2019, thieves broke into the Royal Palace in Dresden, Germany, and stole more than 100 million euros worth of jewels. So that's about 160 million, I guess, dollars. And then it says here on Sunday, Ms. Nunez said on Sunday that security at the Louvre had increased in recent years and that it would heighten it further with the latest plans to overhaul the museum. But we can't prevent everything, he told. I mean, I don't know. I'll just show these pictures again of what was taken. It's this kind of stuff. So I guess the message is, if you or your friends, see this stuff on the street, don't get involved with these things. And then the other question I was just thinking, like, just out loud, I wonder if the next move would be to take it apart, sell it for parts. But I don't think you would do that. I think you would keep it intact. Would be my guess on this one. So that's the details of this stuff. If we get more info on pictures of the robbers, etc., or video, I'll let you guys know, as I'm sure you're as equally curious as I am, and I'll give it pretty good odds that they'll figure out who these people are. I think this kind of stuff with incalculable value, there's going to be so many people gunning for you. So that's my thoughts. I want to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.